Young and Trending is brought to you by the Bahamas Adventist Book and Nutrition Center, located on Tony Williams Darling Highway.
Hey there, and welcome to Young and Trending here on Word SBC 88.3 FM, where we aim to be bold, be true, and be heard. I'm Pastor Nasser.
And I'm Tyler.
And today we got a good topic for you guys today out there.
Yes.
Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. Oh, be careful. Oh, yeah. Y'all know that song, man. If you've been in Sabbath school any amount of time, you would have heard that song.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about the power of shutting up.
This is my type of topic.
Sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut. And so we want to get into that subject right now, because I know I've met so many people, Tyler, where they would say, like, man, I just got to say what I got to say. Like,
That's me.
I can't muzzle my mouth. I feel it's like fire shot up in my bones.
In my bones.
And I have to let them know. I have to give them a piece of my mind. But sometimes, I get rid of, but sometimes, though, it may be best to keep your mouth shut, because when you talk too much or you talk too fast, you can cause some trouble.
Listen, I remember, it's always so interesting for people who don't know me personally, but they just know me in my capacity, like around church, or like even hearing me on the radio, like, oh, she's such a sweet, quiet girl. Like, and the people who know me in real life, they're like, what? Sweet, quiet? Where? So, growing up, and even now, like that phrase, your mouth is your problem, that applies to Tyler Mackel Raman. My mouth is my problem. Like, I have a very, I don't care attitude to a lot of things. I'm gonna say what I mean and mean what I say, and I'm gonna be straightforward about it. However, I will say I have gotten much better.
Oh yeah,
and we can still improve, but much better. Praise the Lord. And actually, it's really funny. What's really funny is how that started was one of my closest friends, and I think we were about a year out of high school. Like, we were talking one day, and she just turned to me. She's like, I really appreciate our friendship. She's like, I feel like I must tell you, you just talk too much. She was like, you just talk too much. Like, you talk all the time. Like, you don't have to talk all the time.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, whoop.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
And I literally couldn't even be offended.
Oh, yeah? Because it was true?
Like those kids in class who are like, oh, such a great student.
Yeah.
She just talks so much.
Oh, I got that on my report card.
Oh, it's me. Don't matter who you put me next to in the class. In fact, I'll make some new friends. Watch. But, and moving on from that, I really took that to heart. If she's listening, she would laugh. But I took that and I don't want to say ran with it, but it definitely helped to shape how I spoke, what I spoke about, moving forward. And there was a period where I am still, was an avid activist, specialist.
Don't we know it?
Still very much so, but especially on social media. And in order for, I don't even want to say for social media to become productive, but for me to not just get so bogged down and just so entrenched in all that be going on online, I literally had to take a step back and be like, you don't have to engage all the time. Just leave it alone.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Not everything deserves a response. Not everything warrants your opinion. Or attention. So back now, what biblically to help guide us?
And I think that's why it's so important that we have the word in our lives, because it helps to guide us, to give us the best options in situations. Because even now that you were talking about, you would be what some would consider extroverted. So
very much
talking
so.
a lot, just talking is something easy for you. But then the introverted person may say, hey, I don't have the problem of talking that much. So this don't really apply
less,
to me.
I wouldn't talk at all.
This don't apply to me. So we're talking about here now where sometimes when you do talk, though, sometimes it may be a situation that you may need to evaluate if you need to say something at all. even if you feel inclined to, versus just saying whatever comes to your mind. And so the Bible helps to give us a few ideas to guide us, and we want to look at the Bible, some Bible verses that's going to help us to, navigate some of these situations. So let's, for example, first one, you don't need to open up your mouth if you don't have all the facts. So, a situation going down.
Some people hollering.
Yeah. They say, if you can't say amen, say ouch.
Say ouch.
Somebody come and they want to ask your input on a particular situation, and this person, the other person, whatever, and you think you know what's happening, but they want, almost like the report, they want to get you. If you don't have all the facts, that might be a good time.
There's no shame in saying you don't know,
I don't know is an answer.
Like, I don't know. Or I would have to research that more.
I need to get some more. Right. I need to get some more before I could comment or give.
There's no shame in that.
No shame, no pressure. You need to know there's no pressure.
Yeah.
They may pressure you, but you need to know there's no pressure if you don't have all the facts.
I don't know, and I don't want to get mixed up in that. I don't know.
Proverbs 18 verse 13 says, if one gives an answer before he hears, it is to his folly and shame. So if you don't have all the facts and you go and give your opinionated opinion as if it is fact, and then later on real facts come about, you the one looking shame.
And that just rolls straight on to the next one, which is if your words will damage someone else's reputation.
So,
normally, and this is touching on gossip, right? This can touch on gossip.
It can, yeah.
When we are quick to speak or share, and we don't have all the facts, but we spread it. Right. Sometimes, not even in the instance of somebody come and ask you, just go and say, right? And you spread it as if it is fact.
Right. That's it ain't nothing quite so damaging like to spread misinformation about people. Like you've been around it. I'm sure all the listeners have been around it, where stories have gone around and later on the truth came out. But because the story had spread so far and wide, that was the reputation that stuck.
Yeah.
People still look at certain people a certain kind of way, even after it's been exonerated or clarified and everything.
And we see that all the time, even like in our judicial system, in things that happen in church where bad news travels faster than good news.
My God.
And nobody is ever as invested in spreading the good news or the real story as the bad news. And so some people will never hear that other side of the story, nor will they care to hear.
That's something, eh? Like, and you just said that's a soft spot, man. The church, it happens in the church, and that's why we have the word of God. That's why we ought to hold to it, because it's there to guide us and protect us. But then you have so much, you have so many situations where people have been damaged and injured because of words spoken about them that people hold on to for generations. Generations, yes. Literally generations, people's family name, the family line has been tarnished by things that people have said. And when the truth does come about, there isn't that same energy. Like, you don't see the people running around to spread. No. In fact, what you heard all that time, no, that ain't true. No. Let me tell you the truth. I have the truth now. No. It's almost as if the reverse happens. People open their mouth to spread the information, not having all the facts, and they damage somebody's reputation. But then when the truth comes, they shut up.
See, because what did Dax just say? It's his folly and shame. You shame now.
Yeah, you shame. Right. Yeah. Right. You shame. So now you ain't even open your mouth, because like I coming back around, I got to backtrack, and so the Bible trying to help us to understand that, whether you extroverted, introverted, before you speak, like think about it. Do you understand it enough? Do you have the facts? Is this something that's really going to bring more harm than good if I actually say this particular thing? Proverbs 16:27, it says, an ungodly man digs up evil, and it is on his lips like a burning fire. You can imagine if your lips on fire, I just got to... Tyler, you would hear? Child, please, let me tell... You ain't hear this yet?
Let me tell you. Me on the phone, like, what? Girl.
I couldn't wait to get out of this meeting so I
Girl.
could. Oh, you had that one before. I couldn't wait to get out of this meet. Oh, those poor board meetings, man. And we ain't laughing because we trying to make light of people who have been impacted, but it's like it's amazing, right?
But you know, something just came to me.
I couldn't wait to get.
And you know what? In the same instance, we're talking about like hot gossip, right?
Hot off the press, hot.
But
hot.
also, tragedy has the same effect.
Oh,
Tragedy, like this is
that
my,
running rampant
this
right
is
now.
my pet peeve.
What's up right now?
I'm gonna expose myself, and that's my pet peeve. I have a problem when it's like, well, we're in the age of social media, so everything is immediate.
Yeah, it ain't going
But
nowhere.
when somebody passes or something traumatic happens, I mean, the story just spreads
Hot cake.
and it gets distorted.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I remember specifically, it was announced at a church I was attending that somebody had died. And I mean, the person had just gotten this message to their phone and they went up the stage and announced it.
Oh gosh.
And the whole just like it was such a gasp moment because we were like, what?
Taken aback, yeah.
And then they had to come back up after and say, sorry, that was not true.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, praise the Lord, the person was alive.
Oh,
you know,
my gosh.
being so quick to speak,
Yes.
not verifying these things, number one, and two, just not being sensitive also of what is being said and who are the persons affected. You know, again, we have to be so careful when we open our
have to be
mouths.
careful, and especially like you say, damaging someone's reputation. If it's somebody coming with a story to you, let's break it real. Because sometimes the story comes to you, and someone is sharing it. You don't have to respond as if you know what's going on. If you don't have the facts, you can keep your mouth shut. You can hold your tongue, especially as well if that information is something that could be damaging to someone's reputation. That's something that you definitely need facts on, something you definitely need to be sure about before you could even imagine broaching that subject, because of the wave of destruction that could be caused by an ill-spoken word.
Right.
And so we have to be aware, and even though we were laughing, we have to be aware that many lives have been damaged. Many individuals who one of their claims for why they don't like to come to church is because there's a lot of hypocrites, people who share information and
Right.
stories about people when they have things in their own life that if it were to get out, you know, they would be in the
in the
same boat, right? So we have to be careful, and that's why the Bible is trying to remind us: it's a time to keep your mouth shut. It's a time to be silent. Hold your tongue, right? You might save yourself some shame. Real talk, man. You know, what's another one? Yeah, there's another one.
In the heat of anger,
Oh gosh.
this is something that I struggle with.
Man, this is confession today.
It's confession time. That's why in the beginning I said this is my type of topic because I could get real with this topic, right? Anyway, this is something I struggle with. Like I said, I'm a very straightforward person, so please don't get me upset. It's coming straight out. And I'm a sharpshooter. I'm, by the way, not saying that as a badge of honor, just being honest about how I communicate. And that's not always effective, nor is it always warranted or needed. And I didn't want to jump here so early on, but I will still. In all of this that we've been talking about, if your words will damage someone else's reputation, if you don't have all the facts, things like that, and being so careful with how we speak to people, what we say, when to say it. One of the real things that I don't think people realize, like you have to pray for discernment, especially if this is something you struggle with.
Oh yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
speaking to defend yourself, speaking out of anger, like, you know, wanting to share a story, some exciting news that you heard, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. Like, you know, and a lot of people do these things out of good intentions, you know.
Yeah. They
A lot of times
good, yeah.
it's not malicious. However, that is our natural inclination to do that. It's our natural inclination to want to just shoot off and be quick to speak and just get whatever misunderstanding out of the way. So, no, I didn't say that, blah, blah, blah. But So it goes against our nature to do that, which is why we have to be intentional about starting on that journey to watching what we say.
Yes.
When we say it, and praying for discernment, being able to read the room.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of times people don't do these stuff out of they don't think down the line like, oh, this is gonna get back to this person, or somebody else is gonna hear me, or this person who I'm talking to can't be trusted, so they're gonna go and say, oh well, she said that to me, and it's gonna end up on social media and whatever. So you can't even see down the line of how these things can come back to bite you. And so seriously, pray for discernment. It's like something I actively have put into practice, and I've seen how it has worked. Sometimes the Lord is literally like, Tyler, be quiet. And I gotta shut up. Like, and sometimes it's like, now is not the right time.
Right.
Just like you come back to it's not the moment for that.
And that is so vital. The whole it's not the right time. In the moment of anger, it's definitely not the right time. A lot of times, people sometimes, I think, in some cases, they go to court and they plead momentary insanity, right?
Yes.
Because they were such in a fit of anger that they responded in a way, and that one momentary action cost them now a lifetime of pain or hurt or whatever. And so in that moment of anger, perhaps for real, you have to take stock to say, this is not the best time for me to respond. Take a step back, take a breather, because in the heat of anger, like Proverbs 14:17 says, a man of quick temper acts foolishly, and a man of evil devices is hated. So in that moment of quick temper, you could do something real foolish. You could say something real foolish. You could say something that they say sticks and stones could break my bones, but words could never hurt you. That's a lie. You could definitely say some hurtful things.
We've debunked that for years
now. Years now. The words hurt. And you could say that you're sorry, but it's already out there, and people will remember that you said that particular thing. Yep. And that's hurting. That's hurtful. That's damaging. And especially with someone who you would like to have a relationship with, whether that's friendship, or whether that's a romantic relationship, or whether it's a work relationship, you would want the relationship to continue to move up and progress. You don't want to put things out there that could be stumbling blocks for that. And your words, ill-spoken words, words in anger, just to get back and to cause pain, is going to not help you in that venture.
You just said what I was going to say.
Oh.
I was like, most times when you're talking out of anger, you had the words coming out your mouth, and you're like, I don't actually mean that.
Oh, you always say that. I didn't mean it like
but
that.
But you're like, the reality is...
You said it.
You
said
it.
You said it. So you was
boom,
thinking it.
That punched that person. Like,
what? Oh, man.
And you don't mean it, but you wanted them to feel... You want them to get how hurt you was.
Yes. You want them to feel what you felt. But then that could be foolish, because then now that could cause another issue. Sometimes I tell people all the time, you could say whatever it is you want to say. It's how you say it. It's how you say it. Like if you are hurt, it's okay to express that you are hurt. Right. But how you go about to let the person know that you are hurt, that matters. Because now that could cause another issue now. When they ain't want to hear nothing else you have to say, because they listening to what it is that you say to them and how you say it, right? How dare you talk to me like that?
Stop listening, actually.
Sign right out. Like, oh, really?
Checked out.
So we have to be careful. Another good time to shut up your mouth is when it's time to listen. So you would just talk. Well, you say your friend that kind of put you onto that. Like, you was talking too much sometimes, where you didn't give enough time to listen.
So the words just keep coming out your mouth. Just stop talking.
But you know what young and older generations could learn from this point here too. Proverbs 13:1 says, a wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. And while this is saying a wise son and the father, and that gives the idea of the younger and the older, there is that element there. But anyone can learn from the other. And I think one of the reasons why even we have this, generational gap that they talk about so much is because both sides tend to shut the other side out. Both sides feel like they have something to say and they want to communicate it because it's valid. But then the other side, because they feel as if they're in a position that they know how certain things go, they tune out the other one, or they
Right.
shut them down, or they're talking so much that the other side, whether it's the younger generation or the older, they tune out whatever's coming in. And
Right.
so you don't get nowhere. And then they just go their separate ways, and then we have this gap. But there comes a time where we need to listen. Like younger people, we need to be able to listen when older people have something to say on
Yes.
particular situations, because they've lived longer than us. They've seen some things. They've
They got the
experienced.
experience.
Is beneficial to hear them out. Even if you don't take what they say, hear them out, because you might be surprised. It might be something you learn.
Yep.
And likewise, older generations can benefit from younger generations who live in a world that the
That's-
older generation didn't grow up in.
Right.
And so they could actually be educated on certain things that they had no idea about, because now they're engaging and listening when someone from a younger generation speaks. And so there comes a point in time when we need to be able to shut up long enough to listen. Listen to what's being communicated so that we can gain wisdom and or instruction for whatever situation we may find ourselves in.
Or even just insight.
Insight. But that's the word. That's the word that covers it all. Insight. that's the umbrella word right there. Insight.
Just so even you can understand where the other person is coming from. Even if you take nothing else from that, now I know where you stand.
Right. Right. And that's something.
Sometimes that's enough.
Sometimes that's enough. Like next time you have a situation, I already know where you coming from, so
Don't
we
know
ain't got to
where you
have all
coming
this
from.
before next
No.
time. It's like, I got you, man. We ain't agree still, but I understand. Okay, that's where you coming from. That's how you feel. So, and then we have this one here.
Child.
If your words will damage a friendship.
Mercy. This is Proverbs 16:28.
Yeah.
A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends. Do you know who this text talking about?
What we're talking about, Tyler?
Instigators.
Instigators. People who like to
Instigators.
people who like run and just stir things up.
Stir the pot.
Stir the pot, man. They trying to, man, they just be saying, they just talk with you. You wanna know that?
You know that?
You wanna know that, man?
You let her talk to you about that.
You
I
let her
heard
talk to you
talking
like
about you the
that?
other day.
Lord, what? Everybody
Jeez.
be what?
Couldn't be me.
They got you. They got you like a conch. You wanna know that? They get who? Me? No. Instigator, man. But if your words will damage a friendship, and the powerful thing about all of this is for people who believe in God. Because if you don't believe in God and don't believe in the principles of a certain type of lifestyle and a standard, then these things really is like, I don't really gotta care. But a person who is a follower of Jesus,
Yes.
they're going to value relationships. They're going to
Yes.
value friendship. They're going to value people. They're going to value keeping peace and unity. And so these are the type of things that you're going to be mindful about.
I saw a TikTok the other day where this guy was making a joke about when he asks people for advice, but they give him worldly advice, and he's just, not again. And the comments were like, yeah, like when I ask someone for advice, like, what should I do in this situation? And they like, do it back to them worse. Get your lick back. And they like, wait, no. Like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Like, that's not the type of person I am trying to be. And even I think, even if you're not a Christian, these are ways that you keep relationships, like you said, and friendships. You don't talk about your friends.
No.
And you don't spread misinformation
You
about
don't build them up that way. No.
Like, you try to catch yourself, take a break, take a breather before you say something you regret. You try to watch your words. And you don't spread misinformation. Like, these are things that you don't do to people you love.
Right.
And as Christians, we should love our brothers and sisters.
There you go. See? Coming full circle now.
Full circle. And even if not, like, these are still things also within the character of Christ. And so we ourselves should aim to have that same character.
That's right. So we need to, be careful, little mouth, what you say. Sometimes you got to shut up for love.
Kids under construction. That's me.
Yeah, you gotta shut up for love sometimes because you love your brother, you love your sister, you love the other person. Even if you don't know them, just let's hold on to it. Let's keep the lips together. You ain't gonna die. You ain't gonna. In fact, you might live abundantly if you were to keep those lips together, man. And so I want to share this one. This last one here. Then, if your words will be a poor reflection of the Lord or your friends and family. So it's tying it all together. If your words will be a poor reflection, that's in 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 21 to 23. It says, "For even hereunto were ye called," this is where you called, "because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. He who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. He who, when he was reviled, he didn't go to his lick back." Here the Bible say, "Revile not again." When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him who judgeth righteously. And so he said God was going to fight his battle. God was going to take care of things. If somebody's saying something about you, ask God to deal with it. You ever read the Psalms? David had some strong prayers.
My enemies.
Hey, and now you don't got to go and call and ask people to get bashed against the stone, right? But you could cry to God and say, "God, handle that, man. Like they getting on me, man. You know, things are happening, things are being said. I need you because if they leave it to me, God, if they get me, if they get this mouth,
leave this to me.
Don't leave it to me. So I need you, God. I need you to fight this battle for me because I ain't gonna fight high. Somebody say when they go high, we go higher or something. No, if they fight me, I go low.
I go in low.
So I need you to fight, and that way, you know, we'll be reflecting Jesus, you know, living like him, and protecting relationships, and you know, being a good testimony and a witness for him. So keep your mouth shut for love. Keep your mouth shut for Jesus. The life you might save may be your own or somebody else.
So as we go through this week, our takeaway from the show today. We don't really have like, oh, here's what we want y'all to do this week. But here's what I want y'all to do this week. Me included. Let's be more careful with our words. And how we speak. Especially in anger, heightened moments.
Ask the Lord.
Let's pray for discernment
Help me.
and think before we speak. Yes? Y'all with me? I hope so. Anyway, you've been listening to Young and Trending today here on Word SBC 88.3 FM, where we always aim to be bold, be true, and be heard. You can catch us here every Tuesday from 6 to 6:30 with reruns on Wednesdays and Fridays from 3:30 to 4. We're also on social media at SBC Media Network on Facebook and Instagram. And we're now on YouTube. We encourage you to go over to the South Bahamas Conference YouTube page where you can watch us there as well. And if you know you're sitting home during the day and you watch the cable channels, we're on Rev Channel 988. I don't even have cable anymore.
Hey,
so I don't know.
It's still there.
It's still there. Anyway, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Pastor Nasa.
And we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Young and Trending was brought to you by the Bahamas Adventist Book and Nutrition Center, located on Tonic Williams Darling Highway.